Next, I am very privileged to introduce two speakers. The first is Chief Tashka Yawanawá, the chief of the Yawanawá people. Tashka Yawanawá has been leading the Yawanawá people for nearly 20 years. During his leadership, the community has grown significantly. The population has quadrupled to around 1,600 members, spread across several villages, with Novo Esperanza, New Hope, as the central unifying location. Additionally, the Yawanawá territory has doubled, now covering 187,000 hectares of protected rainforest, roughly half the size of Rhode Island. Together with his wife, Laura, who probably is also his life in ways, who is also here, and she will be coming on stage as well. Tashka developed a unique Yawanawá life plan to strengthen their culture, promote sustainability, and safeguard their forest from the increasing threats of illegal logging, mining, and ranching. Laura Yawanawá is the executive director of their organization, the Yawanawá Sociocultural Association. Please give them a warm welcome.
Hello. First, I would like to say thank you to Creator to bring us here. We come from the Yawanawá. The Yawanawá people is located in the state of Acre in the Yawanawá territory in the Brazilian Amazon rainforest. And I would like to make acknowledgement and thank you for Dakota people for open the space and the heart for us to be here and to speak all of you. Everything we do, in my community, before we speak, before we sing for everything. When somebody born, we sing. When we're happy, we sing. When somebody dies, we die. Sing is part of our life. I would like to open the speech, sing the Yawanawá song, ask a prayer for the Creator, for us to bless in this place for all of us. Kapi Aranandonim Ahe Ahe Numa Ahe 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 Numa Kawano noinde, sakano noinde, batupin, timbo timbo makapin, timbo timbo, rararaini, rararaini, tau ki, ahatu zainam. Ahatu zaina mondo ki ahatu zaina I mondo ki ahatu zaina mondo ki ahatu zaina My name is Tashka Yawanawá. I'm one of the chief of the Yawanawá people. And the Yawanawá people, from immemorial time, we are working to preserve the Yawanawá land, the Yawanawá lodges, the Yawanawá medicine, the Yawanawá spirituality, and teach the world how human can live in harmony with the nature and with the people. Today, It's not just responsibility for indigenous people. Take care of the Mother Earth. Take care about biodiversity. Take care about the lives. Today is the responsibility of each one that live in this world. What kind of legacy we going leave for the future generation? We are not here in vacation in this planet. We're born here. We live here. We're going to be here. And the Yawanawás, we reborn again in 21st century. In the past, my people suffering so much kind of atrocity, we almost disappeared in 1983. In 1983, we were just about 120 people. Today, we are about 1,850 people. We almost lost our land. In 1983, we demarcated the Yawanawá territory with just 19,000 hectares of the land. In this time, a lot of sacred cemetery, a lot of sacred place where my people used to hunt and fish, but outside the demarcation. In 2003, we Yawanawá coming together in fighting for recover the land that my people used it for immemorial time. In 2005, was demarcated the Yawanawá territory, and last year, October 5, the Yawanawá expanded for 200,000 of hectares. For us, indigenous people, land means future, because the land is our home, where we fish, we hunt, we get our medicine, where we connect with our spirit through our medicine. My people use ayahuasca, we call uni. I think some of you know about ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is a medicine that we drink, and we connect with the land, with the nature, with our ancestors. The shaman can pray one night, 1 week, or the whole year. He's not going to repeat any word, because he just sing what he see in his journey, spiritual journey. And in that cosmovision, for us, everything is connected. Today, we live in this climate crisis. Who is more affected with the climate change? As indigenous people, because we see the difference every day, every night. Like in the Yawanawá territory, we never face the most dangerous and big flood happened in 2014 and happened this year. And today, it's not normal to dry so much. Everything is burning in Amazon. And we call for people to come with us, to unite with us, because this call is not just for indigenous people, it's all of us. And I would like to show, before I pass to my wife, to show a little bit what I'm talking about. I will show a slide that show the real life in Amazon and how the Yawanawá are doing for protect our environment, protect our people. We used to say, the Amazon is a big heart for everyone that live in this planet. The Amazon not belong to anyone. The Amazon belong to whole humanity. Now we're going to change from the north straight for the Amazon. This is Yawanawá. This is my people located in the state of Acre in the Brazil Amazon rainforest. Every time we cross this bridge, means we cross for material world, for spiritual world. We celebrate. We live under big trees. The Yawanawá preserve almost 99% of the territory. We celebrate one time in the year for our medicine plant, for song, for everything. Thanks to the Creator, they are first to us. This is medicine man, Tio Luis, Uncle Luis. This is Yawanawá Gregory River. It's very dry season. You can enjoy a little bit the drive to the Gregory River. A very small river, but we catch a lot of big fishes. We don't have a road. This is the Yawanawá Festival. Have prayers. We do connect to the Creator. This is the game, hard feeling. The community is witness. You are not hard to feel anymore. That's the way we do.
Conflict resolution.
This is tobacco we use for connecting with the Creator, to inspire, to healing. We play on the radio the spirit of the forest. Yawanawá traditional paint.
Those paintings come from the dreams, from the shaman dreams that receive from the nature spirits.
The snake is sacred animal for us. This is my daughter Luan. She's doing a shaman initiation. We spend nights praying, dancing in the forest. This is ayahuasca uni ceremony. This is Tata, our shaman. Laura.
Hello, I'm Laura Yawanawá. I am indigenous. I am originally from Oaxaca, Mexico. I am native Zapotec and Mixtec, but I consider myself, indigenous from all over the world. I feel I'm a sister of all my brothers and sisters that are indigenous from all over the world. And I married Tashka about 30 years ago. And what united us was our love and passion and fight to preserve our cultures and spirituality. And we went back to live in the Amazon. The Yawanawá live in the Amazon. We are very close to Bolivia and Peru. And we are taking care of about 200,000 hectares of rainforest, as you saw in the picture. But like as Tashka was explaining, the Yawanawá have a very horrible past. The Yawanawá were slaves in the past, like most of our relatives, indigenous peoples, that have gone through that history. But just in the 1980s, that's when the patrons that took over the land, the patrons that were exploring the rubber, and also the missionaries of the new tribes mission were there, evangelizing the Yawanawá so they can be submitted to the patrons. And that took over like 50 years that they were there. And then in the 1980s, that's when they were expelled from the Yawanawá territory. So that's when the whole new history started. And like Tashka said, there were only like about 100 Yawanawá. They were almost extinct because also they were suffering of diseases like malaria, yellow fever, and that's one of the reasons actually Tashka left his community when he was a child. He was like 7 years old, and he was taken to the city in Rio Branco. At that time, there was no road, so the only way to get into the community was by airplane that was only by the missionaries. So his dad, who was the last of the Yawanawá chiefs, Twin Kuru, and his mom, they were crying because Tashka was almost dying. And they took to the missionaries to save him, to take him to in his plane, to take it to the city, to the hospital, and cure him, and survive him. And Tashka's dad, he was so desperate, and he told the missionary, if you save my son, in exchange, he will serve your God. So then Tashka spent like a year in the hospital as a child, and he survived. And then the missionaries took him to study in the city. He started to study there, but then when he was an adolescent, he just learned about indigenous people's rights, and so that's when he left the missionaries, and then he started to be an activist for indigenous people. And I met Tashka actually in the U.S., here in the U.S., when I was also working for indigenous rights, because I have been always an activist for our indigenous rights. And then we went down to the Amazon, and we started working with his people, which are my people too now. So we started doing started working to create a model, because when we first arrived in the community, the Yawanawá were really losing the culture and the pride to be Yawanawá. Like I told you, there were very few Yawanawá. Most of the Yawanawá wanted to leave the community, wanted to go to the city. The young people didn't want to be any more Yawanawá. The women wanted to paint their hair in blonde, and they wanted to be westernized. So we did a very deep work about strengthening our culture and traditions and spirituality. But the way we did it first was to call the elders. And we organized a big meeting, assembly, with all the elders, with all the families, with all the children, men and the women. And we made a reflection with the elders, how the Yawanawá were in the past, how the Yawanawá were today, and how the Yawanawá wanted to be in the future. And the first thing that came, that the elders advised us, because we always put our elders to advise us, that was Tashka's dad, Twin Kuru, Tata, the shaman, and other elders, and women elders too, that advised that we first needed to work to strengthen the Yawanawá culture and spirituality, because it was losing it. So that's when we created the Yawanawá festival, what we call it now the Mariri Yawanawá, where we brought together all the Yawanawá, the children, the men and the women, and the elders were telling us how the women should dress. They were explaining how were the paintings, traditional paintings, how were the songs. The Yawanawá were not, the young people didn't know the traditional songs anymore. So they were teaching, how was the way the Yawanawá were before contact, because it was in the memory of the elders, because the contact it didn't happen, for 100 years. So some elders had this in their memory. So we had our first celebration where all the Yawanawá came together, like you saw in the images, all painted, the women naked and all body painting, and beautiful and proud and singing. And then I remember Tashka's dad said to Inkuru, he already passed on, he cried when he saw all his people coming, dancing and singing, and he cried, and he said, now I can die happy, because I see my people again the way they used to be. and I can cry, I can die now. He was crying, it was very touching. So then from there, we call it, Tashka called it, that it was the reborning of the Yawanawá. So that's when there were some songs, traditional songs that were not sung for about 75 years, and that was the first time that it was sung. And then so we work very hard on the strengthening of our spirituality and culture, giving, the importance to our elders. And then we realized that we need to do something about our economy, because in the past times, Yawanawá depend very much on the missionaries. And we need to find ways for us to be sustainable. And so we, after obtaining the land title, the recognition of the territory, which at that time was 93,000 hectares. And later on, we fought, for including the rest of the territory that wasn't included at that time, that included some sacred cemeteries and springs. We fought, and with our allies, our international allies, to include 90 more hectares of the Yawanawá territory. So now we enjoy of 200,000 hectares of rainforest that we are preserving. And so that's, after we did that, we organized ourselves in the Yawanawá Sociocultural Association. So we had a political representation. And we started also working on planning. So we create our life plan, which is basically what you call here the strategic plan. And we did this in a very participative way with all the communities, with all the children, the men, the elders. It took us like about 3 years to build this life plan that includes basically the dreams of all the Yawanawá people, of how we want to secure our territory, how we want to secure our culture, how we want to secure our spirituality, how we want to protect our biodiversity, how we want to secure our education, traditional and Western education, and our health, our traditional and Western health, and all the areas, and also what are the economic sustainable projects that we could develop so we can maintain the Yawanawá happy, and also for the future generations, so we can continue protecting our territory and biodiversity. So some of the sustainable economic projects that we thought of were, ethnotourism. We have a program with ethnotourism. We also have done partnership alliances with businesses, like, for example, we have a partnership with a company, a Brazilian company called Farm, and it's a close company. So they use some of our traditional designs, and they pay royalties for the use of some images that we invest in our life plan, and also they get these beautiful bracelets from all the Yawanawá women that produce them, so they pay the women directly. All these are crafts. And also we have another partnership with Avida Corporation for about almost 25 years, 27 years. And we provide them urucum, which is the red color, for them to use for shampoo. At some point, some years ago, they did a release of lipstick with our urucum, and they also they compensate us, for the use of the Yawanawá image and Yawanawá name, so that we invest in our life plan. Which one? Also, we did a beautiful partnership with Alok. Alok is a DJ, a Brazilian DJ who is very famous. Actually, he's like the second best DJ in the world, something like that. And we produced a beautiful album with him, with the Yawanawá music. Actually, you can listen it into Spotify. It's called Future Ancestral, and they also, Alok didn't do this only with the Yawanawá. He did it with other indigenous peoples from the Amazon, and so we have this partnership, and of course our ally, WILD Foundation has been our ally for many years, and that's the reason we are here, and we are deeply grateful for this alliance, because WILD has also helped us to continue protecting our territory with their surveillance of our territory, with boats and motors, because nowadays we need that. And in order to protect our territory, we need boats and motors so we can do the surveillance of all the territory. And we are very much looking forward for strengthening our alliance. And I just want to, there is so much we would love to share with you, but I just want to say that I felt so touched, by the first day listening to the Dakota elders. It was such an honor and inspiration, and I want to thank that very much. It's because nowadays, yes, they were talking about we need to work together, and it's true. We all need to work together. We all need to work together as our brothers and sisters. It's about time, and our people also believe that this climate crisis, this economic crisis, this global crisis is bringing us together. So we heal, so we are healed of that greed and that ego that humanity is sick. So I just want to thank you so much for all you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.